Hey guys, Menashe here, and today's video will be a little different from the videos I've been doing up to now. Because today I'll be talking about a webtoon. And if you don't know what a webtoon is, it's basically a comic, it's like a comic book. So yeah, the webtoon I'll be talking today is called Gepetto. And for the studios among you, that name might ring a bell because Gepetto is a character in the original Pinocchio story. He's the person who made Pinocchio. And when you read like Gepetto, like the webtoon, you see like a lot more Pinocchio references and similarities, main character, and, stuff. I can't get too deep into it because then it'll be spoilers. But yeah, once you read like the story and the original Pinocchio story, you definitely see the similarities and resemblances. To explain what Gepetto is a little bit, it's basically a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi series about androids, humans, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's basically it's a sci-fi series about robots, androids, cyborgs, that kind of stuff. I know that's not a really colorful description, but I'm trying to not spoil too much. So instead, what I will do is go like read like kind of like go through the first chapter with you guys and like give you like a sneak peek of what the story is actually like. So yeah, right about now you should be seeing panels from the first chapter and me like going through them, explaining to you and without spoiling anything, because yeah, I really think this webtoon is something you have to read and experience for yourself to get like the full picture, because if I just spoil it for you, it will just ruin everything. So yeah, please, you should really check it out. It's really good. It's actually really fucking good. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I'll be talking about the first chapter of the webtoon. There's also a prologue before it, but you guys can read that for yourselves. Yeah. Anyways, the chapter starts in a government facility with two characters interacting before their focus falls on an android. It seems to be turned off and is female in appearance. One of the characters, who we learn is Nero, sheds some light on the android, explaining how it's a ruin during the world androids, and talks about someone named Dr. Gepetto, as I'm sure you surmised and I just explained. He's a pretty important character to the story. Nero goes on explaining, and you learn that while other androids were tossed away and, I don't know, maybe sold for scrap or something, this one was kept intact. This implies its importance. This is confirmed when the other character, Mr. Panparone, I'm not going to Panparone because I don't want to say Mr. before that. When the other character, Panparone, says the android must be the last inheritance of Dr. Gepetto, Nero replies that she's not the inheritance but simply the key to the inheritance, information he got from what seems to be a mysterious character named Mr. Antonio. By now, as the reader, you're curious as to what the inheritance is, who's Dr. Gepetto, and most importantly, about the war that occurred between humans and androids. This one, yeah. So this is one of the things I love most about this webtoon, like how it like sets up its mysteries, how it goes about these mysteries, and how like the mysteries all pay off at the end. Like I really think this webtoon is like really good at like setting up plot points, discussing those plot points, and like the reviews and everything. Like yeah, it's good. I really love this webtoon, so I'm a little nervous talking about it. But yeah, I won't, like I said, I won't spoil. But yeah, there are like some pretty big twists and turns in the narrative that like turn the entire plot on its head. So yeah, be ready for that. Back to the chapter though. Panparon goes to investigate the android, and the scientist reveals something about a restriction protocol. Like during the chapter, scientists say something about a restriction protocol, and from this you can pretty much glean that humans figure out a way to like stop androids and yeah, to stop androids and not cause them to not go to war with them or something. And the scientist activates the android after Pamperon tells him to. The android comes online and opens its eyes with Nero looking on. Nero, original character, dude with the white hair. Nero looking on. It begins to mumble something, and Pamperon, like a complete idiot, gets closer to it to better hear what it's saying. Nero notices the android's hand twitching and tries to warn Pamperon, but it's too late. Android breaks free, slams its head against the pillar, and says it's executing the command. sounds pretty ominous, doesn't it? The story then shifts perspective, like, we're done with this part, we're going to this other part now. The story then shifts perspective to what seems to be a futuristic society with, like, I don't know, like domes, and like it kind of seems kind of, downtrodden, kind of dark and like fucked up, Yeah, and an old man is inspecting parts brought in by a young boy named Kolodi. We learn from the old man that Kolodi is a natural at this, and that had it been before the war with androids, he could have been a robot engineer. So this also, like, it kind of helps in the world building and kind of like the narrative of the story, because we learned that beforehand androids androids must have been like mass produced and stuff, and there must have been like people making them, robot engineers, robot technicians and stuff like that. It just really helps you to give like a clear picture of how this world works, how it reacts, and what happened to it. And it also helps, to build up the mystery, to know, okay, so what happened? Why was there war with androids? Because clearly, like, androids were being made, mass production, robot engineers, stuff like that. So what happened? Did they like malfunction? Did the humans say fuck it, let's just destroy them? Like what? It all helps, like, in the world building, to help you want to read more. Anyways, the old man goes on to explain that the government banned all of the technology associated and related to androids and destroyed production facilities. Like, there are places where the androids are made, which hints at an authoritarian regime. Like these governments like saying fuck you, fuck this, let's just destroy everything. Or maybe they were just being cautious. I'll let you guys decide when you read the webtoon. Koloti reveals that he prefers this because his mom died during the war. So there you have it. As you all know, every protagonist in a manga, comic book, or whatever has to have a tragic backstory, and this is Koloti's tragic backstory. His mom died during the robot war, so he kind of hates androids. Just then, an alarm rings, and both characters guess that something bad must have happened. The old man gives Kolodi his money and sends him on his way. Back at the facility, it's all hands on deck as Pamperon is severely injured and the android has escaped. Nero gives the order to bring it back alive, and the chapter ends with a shot of the android's face. And yeah, that was the first chapter of Gepetto. Yeah, I went through it with you guys, and I really like this webtoon because of some of the themes it tackles. NGS. I know there are a bunch of other sci-fi shows, books, movies, games, or what have you have kind of already tackled some or most of the themes Gepetto like portrays, but I still like the way Gepetto handles them and portrays them. How far people would go to justify their own actions, the irrational fear of change and progress, and what it means to be human, and what makes you human. And yeah, you should definitely check out Gepetto. I will leave a link to the story in the description, and you can also download like the Line Webtoon app, like the app where the story is, for both Android and iOS. It's free, so you really don't have any excuse to not check it out, because it's free. And yeah, I think that's about it for this video. Yeah, check out the webtoon. Tell me if you do read it, please do leave a comment on what you think. Tweet at me, all of that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the video.